Are we live? Yes, we are. But I'm not seeing you there still, so I'll do the usual, ever more repeated operation right over here as soon as possible. And yes, now it's possible. And I will do it swiftly. I hope so. Yes, looks like it's possible to do it. Yes, already done. Good evening, my dear friends. Welcome one more time to another purposeful Facebook Live. Today we are going to talk, and I'm seeing you, Julieta. Yes, very welcome. We are going to talk about meaningful healing. Meaningful healing is the subject, and by the way, it's very synchronized, in tune with the today ephemeris here in Portugal, that we celebrate Our Lady of Fatima apparition more than 103 years ago. It was the first Fatima apparition as stated into the Catholic Christian tradition here in Portugal. I believe it's very much in tune with this meaningful healing dimension that we are going to talk today. And I can start by asking, do you believe in Fatima's apparitions and miracles? What is your thoughts? Please comment on the box below, and I will have all pleasure in understanding what is your way of understanding this issue of Fatima. What is your remarks about it? So, but the thing is, meaningful healing, it's acknowledgement, a recognition that by our meaningful faculties we can bring ourselves into healing states, healing conditions according to some, and to many. Miracles are real into their perception, and I'm one of them. Yes, I do believe miracles are real. I do believe miracles have a very broad angles, tackling, that enables us to see them onto several different perspectives and consider our own understanding on life, on possibilities, on beliefs, on faith, according to the perspectives we find and we believe possible. Yes. And through the course of human history, meaning generating was really a major theme into making our lives a little bit better, or a lot better, and easier to deal with. Because in the Valley of Tears, like many ancients said in medieval times, life was seen to be very, very harsh, and indeed it was. Mortality was high, pestilence, famine, wars, life conditions, globally taken, at least according to our perception today, were very harsh to consider. Today, this type of situation that we find ourselves challenged is a very, very mild, globally speaking, of course, very mild type of context in comparison with other times. So, for those people, the meaningful faculty was crucial for them, not only to have peace of mind, but also for them to get um, real survival possibilities expanded or at least increased. And now I see your comment around Holy Our Lady of Fatima apparitions. Julieta, I believe in her. It visited a few times and the energy felt there is real. Miracles are real, although we might have expectations for them that are not the purpose of its existence. In my opinion, anyway, yes. Okay. Yes, the energy. I also believe that the energy of that space in Cova da Iria is very real and felt, and I believe there are several factors that contribute to it. And one of them is that specific spot, that specific territory, that specific place has an history with thousands of years of, guess what? Miracles. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. Many people, the majority of people, I believe, don't know that Fatima, that place near Ourém, Cova de Iria, that very place is a stage of many legends, myths, histories, and of course, for some, real events taking place for thousands, I repeat, thousands of years. Please go check history if you don't know it. For thousands of years, there are several histories that are shared in several different traditions, including Arabic, beyond Catholics and Christian people. They talk about a lady, Fatima was her name, that having lived in history, bestowed several types of gifts, and I will urge you to go check the history because it's very interesting to see. I really believe, in my perspective, that that place is one of the examples of geomagnetic type of energy fields arising and flowing onto certain places on Earth that propel, that facilitate, and that create the context, the conditions for what we call miracles to happen. Because one of the definitions that I like about miracles is the definition that miracles are a certain type of science beyond our reach. That's my perspective on miracles. They are not the universal laws bending type of phenomena. They are the universal laws appliance beyond our understanding type of phenomena, type of experience. So, if it's very easy if you think about back in time 200 years ago, if I pick up a phone and I start calling with somebody, they would think I was a sort of wizard, big wizard, person that was manipulating weird stuff, maybe demons, who knows? And not to deny some the concepts behind some labeling and some narratives, but really, if we consider the broader frame of a situation, the thing is, in my perspective, miracles are intangible science, not yet understood by us, because we are not onto the mastery of those principles application. So, I personally believe that Fatima is really a cradle for miracles, if you like, Reese, because I believe in geomagnetic phenomenon as such, as not really as a belief, but as a measurable and measured evidence of certain types of fields influencing certain types, even creating, expanding deeply the possibility for certain types of phenomena to happen, and of course promoting certain types of edifications also. Tomar, which is, by the way, near Fatima, as you know, I believe so, if you know Portugal geography. Tomar is one of those places with a special geomagnetic context, which we believe, in face of the current evidence, was one of the reasons that was chosen by Templars, Knights Order, and after those Templars by the Order of Christ, the following order after the shutdown of the Templars back in 14th century. It was replaced by the Order of Christ here in Portugal. One of the reasons they chose Tomar as the headquarters was because of the geomagnetic fields, and there are several studies around the globe that show that the geomagnetic fields and the strategic positioning of certain types of edifications, temples, and other constructions which has certain types of precepts for channeling, distributing, and using energy around the earth, and not only energy from the earth, but energy attracted and channeled from the cosmos, in that sense. The ability of a place to do so was one of the main reasons for some choices around monuments, around edifications, all sorts of fortifications, temples, cathedrals, and all related building according to canonic type of understandings. And so we can see this as some sort of hocus pocus type of narrative, or we can see this as some expression of deeper hidden scientific truths not yet to be revealed to us, but nonetheless we can acknowledge that we humans derive meaning from these type of instances. And when we feel that we need to correct to restore, to rejuvenate some dimension around ourselves, yes, we already know, because it's scientifically proven, that we do so in a very crucial manner by generating meaning. Yes, we are meaning making animals, we humans, and as such we tend to attribute meaning to every single life facet that we have and in our experience, and we use those in order to get more of what we like, or to avoid what we don't like, for sure, to get more pleasure, or to avoid, to run away from pain. This is human inclination, so to speak. So after the Our Lady of Fatima apparitions back in 1917, and there were 6 apparitions at the time, and 1 year before, the children saw other 3 apparitions, not reported as such, because it was not Our Lady or Mother Mary, but it was like an angel that, according to legend or history, presented himself as the custodian angel of Portugal. Yes, but so those children go through some sort of experience that made a whole country and a whole institution beyond national borders, such as Catholic Church. Take the narrative, take the experience, and make it into a sanctuary, putting it, using it as a frame of reference for to build a sanctuary on the spot. Yes, and of course, the thing gets very, very more complicated when you have evidence which go beyond more than 70,000 persons testifying around the sun miracle that happened in October 13th. Yes, that very same year. And that was very hard to justify in terms of the only miracle narrative, because there were several people with reputation beyond the pueblo that we are, and beyond the more simpler people without schooling, without literacy, that their opinion was not taking into good account. No, because it was a lot of people, and among those people were several literate, reputed professors, men of science, journalists, and other people with reputation. So it was very hard to dismantle the narrative, so to speak. And so I've give you my opinion. My own meaning machine tells me that in terms of geomagnetic fields, that was a place that really was and is a privileged spot for having transcendent and intangible types of experience and phenomena, and for connecting with deeper dimensions, not only of ourselves as our whole realm of being, and experiencing the interbeingness. And on top of that, we already know by spiritual science, that I am a student, as you know, I believe so. We know by spiritual science that there is a phenomenon that Mr. Napoleon Hill, in New Age terms, defined as the mastermind effect, and in the spiritual science realm is like an egregor type of effect, which is the effect of the cumulative body of energy that is assembled when lots of people repeatedly nurture a same belief, a same core belief, or a same perspective or perception of reality. So, Fatima really is a cradle for miracles, because nonetheless, we have a spot which is naturally, geomagnetically prepared for that to happen. B, we have a whole bunch, millions at this time, of people putting belief into the place and into their healing abilities. And third and foremost, because we have the choice to connect ourselves with the collective narrative and use those into our own personal experience. We can go making a pilgrimage to Fatima. We can go there visiting the sanctuary. We can go there praying. I went there with my son in my arms. I baptized my own son, making now a personal curiosity that I'm going to share. When Rafael was 3 months, we went there. We went to the sanctuary, and I felt on the spot that I was called to baptize my own son. Of course, in an informal way, because I'm not a priest. But baptism has a scientific procedure according to spiritual science also, yes. And I'm acknowledged with the procedure, and I used the procedure. And I went to the holy water place, and I've taken some, and I applied the procedure to my son. knowing that the procedure done by a person who is cognizant of the principles, and when it is made with utter deep reverence and deep love, like the love that the father has for his son, is of, in my own understanding, in my own belief, is of incredible power. So I've done so. I've baptized my son in very simple manner, and so I've went and I really felt the vibe of it all. Yes, I really felt the thing. But it is a parenthesis for a major perspective on meaningful healing, which is this one. We know, as a matter of fact, that the whole branch of psychological science, thinking about more contemporary terms. Yes, it was beautiful, Juliette. Thank you for commenting. That a most distinguished fellow, Mr. Viktor Frankl, that I have told you so about him, the founder of logotherapy, he decided, after he went into the concentration camps in Auschwitz and other concentration camps, because he went into several concentration camps, unfortunately, that meaningful production, meaningful creating of a reality inside ourselves, giving meaning to harsh realities, it's one of the best ways of us to heal, of us to make peace with the past, and even more so. And that's one of the major ideas that I want to share in this live with you, just because this is such an immense term. We will only go to make some specific remarks. And first and foremost, the remark is that we can change the past, because we are not changing the past, because the past doesn't exist. In very concrete terms, only thing that exists is the here and now. No past exists, no future exists, only now. So, as such, we are meaningful making machines, or beings, if you prefer, better than machines, but we have that machinery, machinery into our constitution that allows us to produce meaning, and as such we can change our past if we do what? If we attribute different meanings to it. Not to be confused with lying, not to be confused with twisting the facts, not to be confused with omitting, hiding stuff. No, that too has an effect on reality, but that's not the type of meaning that sustains and that lasts, in my perspective. Yes, because no matter how long it will take, truth tends to surface. That's what I believe, and that's not the only one to believe so. But that's the experience that we have. In order to have peace within ourselves, we need to build that peace into the very best possible truthful base that we can. And so, if we want to change our understanding of the past, if it's a traumatic past, things that hurt us, things that made us feel ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated, weakened, and betrayed, whatever, we can acknowledge the facts of what happened, B, revise the meanings we are given onto them, and C, striving for the fullness of understanding of the whole experience, not to make it, not to keep it negative as such, not to make it as, oh, it is only positive, because that's not fullness either. The fullness of it is to see both sides of it as an integration, of it all. And of course, using those to understand, using a set of questions to understand what will I have that made me better, a better human being. What are the advantages that that situation brings me, and the opportunities for learning, and for understanding other persons, and for understanding myself, and to have added motivation for making myself better, and for avoiding things that should be avoided and not be repeated, and for keeping myself more attentive to life, or to keep myself more at ease, or and you name it, and you create those types of meanings, because we know, and that is a certainty, that is a scientific fact used in every single type of endeavor. As such, we create our own reality, in if not in totality, at least in partial terms, to the moment we generate something like the placebo effect that is used for testing medicines and drugs and other types of substances that are tested against the placebo. Because of what? Because we know that the placebo works, and that we want to understand if the placebo working is the only specific effect, or if another effect with statistical significance, with scientific impact, is taking part onto the drug that is being tested. So I give you this example just for the most skeptical people. Understand that we create healing by what we believe it is possible, or not by what we believe the world is or should be, by what we believe the other people believe about life, about ourselves, about the context that we live. We activate or dismiss healing opportunities for ourselves and others, depending on what we nurture, of what we cherish, on what we will put ourselves up to. So, some people who believe, oh, I'm so much intelligent, that all of those Pueblo people who believe in Fatima miracles and stuff like that, because they are totally irrational type of people. They are more simple people who don't have brains to understand how life should be. That is all a bunch of lies to sell merchandise for the Catholic Church and for them to put money onto their pockets, blah blah blah. That can have truth in those arguments, but please, my friend, don't forget one thing: we are meaningful making machine, even when we say that life has no meaning. When we say that life has no meaning, really what we are saying is that the meaning we give onto life is, according to our own belief system, none. We are just giving it by denying it, because there is no other way around. If we are interpreting, we are giving meaning. As such, you can deny certain types of meanings. You can't deny meaning altogether. You can't deny belief altogether, faith, hope, and those, let me say it, those are among the very best capabilities that we humans have. The ability to go forth no matter what, the ability to go beyond pain, misery, suffering, the ability to go beyond evidence around us of evilness in other people, in their behavior, in their egotism, in their despise of human values, in their own misery, the misery of not acknowledging the very best of human nature. That is very, very deeply touching for me. Because when people think they have it all and they feel deeply troubled, oh my God, they are really in trouble because they don't see other ways out. And then harsh things tend to happen, harsh choices tend to get their place onto life. And so, my dear friends, please consider that meaning produces healing. Healing really is the restoration and the reunification of all of our strengths, of our abilities, of our powers onto the very best possible expression, which is by definition purposeful, by our own repeatedly definition here in these lives, that the purposeful life is the heart, science and practice of expressing ourselves to the utmost beauty of our creative truth. So, don't forget that today is a big day for reflecting about Fatima. What is my relationship with Fatima? Can I see the other side of it? Can I see, if I am a believer, can I see the skeptics side? If I am the skeptics, can I see the believer's side? Can I understand that it's, in fact, it's really is mostly a dance about making the very most of life instead of denying life, having the very best possible relationship with life and all there is into it, all the experiences, manifestations, whatever. Can I use that as an opportunity not to judge other people, but try to understand them better? If I'm a believer, not to judge the skeptic. If I am the skeptic, not to judge the believer. And to try to really create understanding, not only for myself, but for others. And of course, use the meaning-making gift that you have for revising your own life history, your own life path. If you are like me, and if you are like my clients that know that I recommend this stuff, and now you will know, one of the things that I recommend is please set your database. Create a database, no matter what type of database that you make. Do you like Excel? Do it in Excel. Evernote. Oh, I prefer notebooks. Okay, go to notebooks or to index cards, whatever. I like them all, so I use them all because it's my job, it's my work, and I will go deeper into that. Please track your most meaningful life events. That's the homework for today. Make a selection. If you can't make it in the full scope, if you haven't so, make a selection of some meaningful life events. Things that made you feel deeply onto the experience, that touched you deeply. And consider those and revise the narrative in terms of meaningful healing. Ask yourself, what can I better understand about this situation that make me more whole, that make me more complete, that make me feel more at peace with myself, or that makes me even go beyond that, that make me feel more as a shining star, that make me feel more bright, that make me feel more genius, excellent, something that make you want to give yourself more into others and into the world. Note those, jot those onto paper or into files or wherever, and periodically keep those and revise it. When you need to unleash some energy, some power, internal power, some belief into life and into ourselves, reread those interpretations. My advice is that you keep those in complete revision of completeness, fullness, for the meaning to be really meaningful. Meaningful is full of meaning, is complete. in existence. So, and of course, because going beyond those memories is a lot easier when they are full cycle, because then they tend to close as such, and then we get some sort of neutrality and peace in dealing with those, and they are major life assets whenever needed. When you need to share your learnings with other person, when you need to share it with a friend, with a son, with a mother or father, friend, client, Facebook Live, whatever, they are of utmost importance and value. They are really the gold and diamonds of life. They are the true value that we have. So, my dear friends, for today I'm done. I hope it gets you something that lasts. Tomorrow I will talk about full cup mastery. In fact, is another dimension of this, taking into that metaphor of the cup. So, full cup mastery is the title of tomorrow's Facebook Live. Take good care. See you there.